Hello there, welcome back to my channel, Snips by Kelly. I'm Kelly, and tonight we're going to be creating an adorable single page layout that focuses on adding simple layers to create a beautiful layout. We're going to be continuing on with the Honey Bunny paper pack and sticker sheet. Now the sticker sheet has some great pennant banners, dovetail banners, arrow banners. It has a couple great journal stickers and title stickers. It has great zip strip style stickers as well, and lots of sentiments. Now the pattern paper lends itself more toward pastel. Of course, that's the theme of the month, but it also can go masculine or feminine depending on your photos. So we have butterflies and florals, we have busy bunny, we have a watercolor wash weave, and a honey butter dot, as well as a peach pattern and some great zip strips in this paper. So while everyone is waiting for my workshops to debut, I've been focusing on some feature artwork from our idea books, one of my favorite things to do. This is a really cute layered layout that uses our Honey Bunny Scrapbooking stamp and thin cut set shown at the bottom here. I've used this in just a previous video and made a cute 2-page layout, and I'll link that in the description. I'm going to focus on a 5x5 of 3 of my granddaughters, Avery, Hattie, and Ramsey, and I've added an 1/8 inch white 5 1/8 by 5 1/8 photo mat. Now I'm going to make a few of these bunnies and the Easter title from the Honey Bunny Scrapbooking stamp and thin cut set. I did speed this up quite a bit because of course the coloring and things like that takes quite a bit of time. But what it looks like in the featured art is maybe they did rock and roll stamping. So rock and roll stamping is where you put one color on the top of the stamp and another color on the bottom of the stamp, and you roll it so that you get two-tone stamping, one color on the top and one color on the bottom. I actually stamped my sentiment in both honey butter as well as the peach, but I'm going to actually color on the bottom of one. So I have 3 tri-blend markers here, and I have earth brown, I have golden brown, which I'm using right now, and I have pale pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to color one of the bunnies and show you the technique that I did for one of the bunnies, and then we can do the rest off camera. So I'm going over light with the golden brown, and once I go over light with the golden brown, I'm going to come in with some medium and dark earth brown to add some shading. And you know, I'm not the most amazing person who could teach color techniques with tri-blends, but I've learned a few tricks for basic tri-blend markering that really looks nice. And so what I do is I come in with light, then I do highlights with darker, and then I come back in with light, and it really blends and it looks so great. So I'm just doing a little bit of highlighting with the medium or dark earth brown around the ears, around the arch of the back, around the little legs, around some of the natural stamped lines. And so I always stamp in intense black ink because you can do treatments over the top of that, and it will blur less, and you won't have like the smearing or the blurring that you can sometimes have with other inks, and it holds more steadfast. So I'm again just I have the light side of the golden brown blend, and I'm putting that nice base on that, coming back in every so often with the light and medium earth brown and or medium, depending on how dark you want that. And then I'm coming back in and I'm blending over the top. So like I said, I've been focusing on featured artwork in the idea book, one of my favorite things to do. And I've either been recreating the artwork as is, or I've been elevating that artwork and making changes, or I've been doing things like adding companion pages to single pages. And I've been having so much fun with that. And I have so many process videos coming out that shows how I do that. And sometimes with the featured art, people just want to know what they've used and what the sizes are. And so I have sort of sorted all that out for you. So if you follow along throughout this next month, you'll get to see almost all of the featured layouts in our idea book for this round done via process video. And I'll have sorted that out for you so that if you want to quickly sit down and recreate, it will be so much fun for you. I'm also going to link up in the description a full video that is my artwork reveal, where I've completed 75 pieces of artwork from this current March-April idea book, and I've shown the artwork along with the product of every single page in the idea book. And it's the first time that I've done that in public. I've done similar things in my private groups, but since having a YouTube channel and sort of getting my groove and figuring out what people want to see, I thought this would be a wonderful thing to show. I love seeing the actual artwork that's in the catalog up close and personal, and I also showed my change-ups, what patterns I changed, what different things I've changed, and I've also revealed the companion pages to those pieces of art that I added companion pages to. Now I'm coming back in with pale pink and a little bit around the bunny's nose, a little bit around the bunny's tummy and the insides of the ears as just enough, and then I come back in and blend that just a little bit with that golden brown, and it's just enough of a pink tone to make the bunny look so cute. But anyway, I will link up in the description down below and up in the hyperlink up above. I will link that video that is my artwork reveal with 75 pieces of artwork, both scrapbooking and cards. I think he looks so cute now, so you can color the rest of those. I have 2 running bunnies, 1 standing bunny, as well as the little tiny bunny. Now we have some things that I've stamped onto cardstock. So we have the eggs and we have some flowers that I'm going to be using in this series. And so I did more than what we need, but I always like to do extra just to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So the first color I'm using is the dull green blend, and I'm using the light just to do little bits and pieces of grass and leaves. And I'm going in and using 4 different colors. So I've got the dull green, I'm going to be using the coral blend, I'm going to be using the gold yellow blend, and I'm going to be using ice blue. So I'm using the light coral blend now, and I'm going to do the little flowers as well as one of the eggs in this series. Okay, and just going in and coloring those. I'm doing a little bit of shading with medium, so I'm coming in with light, shading with medium, and coming back in with light. And I use that same technique always, always, always on a variety of artwork projects. Light, dark, light. So now I have that ice blue light doing the same thing, coloring one of the eggs in each of the series, and then coming around the edges with the medium, and then coming back in with the light. I like to kind of stamp my images that I need and use similar colors that are going to be on the layout, and use them over and over to coordinate the colors within the layout. And then we're going to be fussy cutting these out. So now I have the gold yellow blend, and I'm actually going to go in now and do the 3rd egg. So this way we have a blue, we have a pink tone, and we have a yellow tone, so it coordinates really, really well with all the icons and the colors in this series. Just going to do the same thing, coming in with light, coming back around the edges with dark, and then coming back in with the light. It's just a tiny bit of coloring. You barely have to move. You're just doing a little bit of touching, and then we'll be able to fussy cut. Now, when I'm fussy cutting things like this, I always like to leave a tiny bit of a white edge, and it makes it look like a thin cut. And so we'll be fussy cutting those out. But in the title, on the Easter title, I actually thought that we could come back in and we could do some coloring on the bottom to make that 2-toned. So now I'm actually using the coral, and I'm using the light coral on the bottom of the letters. It looks to me like all the rest of the image that they have stamped is in the honey butter, but I'm actually going to choose to come back in and color the little flowers in the stamped image. And there's some little flowers on each of the letters that spells Easter, and some little tiny leaves. So I'm going to do the bottom half of the letters in the light coral. I'm also going to use the light coral on the flowers and then come back in with the medium coral on the center of the flowers. And then I'm going to add light dull green for the leaves in there. Now you can leave it just two-toned and leave all of that upper top part honey butter, but I thought it added color so that it doesn't just wash and blend into the background by adding a little bit of color to those leaves and those flowers in that. So I'm still not quite sure what they did on the original. They definitely could have done rock and roll stamping. So inking the top half of your stamp with one color and inking the bottom half of your stamp with another color and stamping that image so that it's two-toned. But I think it's just as easy to come back in with your tri-blends and do it this way. You could come back in with colored pencils. Now I did stamp Easter in peach, thinking I might come back in and do the top of the peach stamped image with a golden yellow marker, but it was so much easier to go dark on light. So bringing the coral in on the lighter stamped image was a lot easier than bringing golden yellow in on a darker stamped image because it sort of changed the color a little bit. Now looking at that, I can see that they left everything yellow, but we're going to do what I just said, and we're going to do a little additional coloring. I don't even know if you consider it coloring because you're barely just tapping each of those little pieces with your marker. So easy to do. And then we're going to come back in and we're going to fussy cut those eggs and those flowers that we colored. And then we'll have our little bits. It's really an understated scrapbooking layout. It's so simple and easy and elegant, and all of the heavy lifting is in the layers, and that's actually not even heavy lifting. It's just so easy. I think you probably spend a tiny bit more time coloring than you do on anything else in this layout. And I love that it features a photo, and it can feature a photo that is a different size than what we're using. So what I did for mine is I have a PictureMate 400 that is gives me the ability to print at home, and I printed on a 5x7 photo paper, and so then I of course made it 5x5. So you can make it 5x5 by taking a 5x7 and cropping it to 5x5, or if you have a photo printer at home, you can use your 5x7 and just resize that to a 5x5. I resize my photos on an app called not Perfect Video, it's called Print to Size. There we go. Okay, so now we're fussy cutting and I'm letting the scissors do all of the work. I'm rotating the image with my hands and I'm letting the craw of the scissors, the micro tip scissors, do the work, and I'm just kind of rotating it around, and it makes for super fast and easy fussy cutting. Leaving a little edge, like an 1/8 inch edge, on your images that you fussy cut will make them look nice, clean, and sharp, and they almost look like a thin cut then. You can barely tell that you fussy cut, and it also makes it so much easier on you than trying to fussy cut perfectly. All you have to do is go around with that 1/8 inch. Now, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Here are all the layers. So the very first thing is I cut an 11 3/4 by 11 3/4 piece from the peach pattern paper. Then I gutted that, and because only the edges are going to show, but I gutted it in an odd size because it's an 11 3/4. So you cut from 1 inch to 10 3/4 all the way around to create that frame. Then I created an 11 1/2 by 11 1/2 of this wash paper. Now in theory, you could gut out about 7 by 7 out of the center of that because you will be covering that up. I opted to leave it whole. The next piece is this really cute butterfly pattern, and I'm doing 8 by 8, and we're going to do some tearing on that. The next piece is going to be the peach pattern, and that's going to be 7 by 7. And then the next piece is going to be a glacier mat that is going to be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then we're going to have this green floral, which is going to be 5.5 by 5.5. We're going to have a layer under there of the honey butter dot, which is going to be 3.5 by 7. And that's going to be between the peach pattern and the green floral pattern. And then, like I said before, I have a 5 by 5 photo with a 5 1/8 by a 5 1/8 inch white daisy photo mat. So layer, 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 and it's going to be so gorgeous with those layers. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to tear the edges, just a tiny little bit of the edge off of the butterfly paper, the blue butterfly paper, and then we're going to do some bending and distressing. We're just going to pull it up. I'm not going to do any inking. You absolutely could. I'm not going to do any inking on the edges of that. I just want to tear that up and bend those edges up like you're almost making a little bit of a textured frame for those other layered pieces to sit inside. So easy. We're almost there, actually. It's so easy. We have some embellishing to do, but these layers are what adds the texture and the beauty to the page, but keeps it ever so simple. And it's such a page that is both simplistic and adorable. I love this pattern. Very easy. I think it would be to reduplicate and create a pannion page. I didn't, because I just had this focal photo. I don't have any other photos from this day other than them dressed up and getting ready to go to church. And so, but I think you could recreate the same base pattern, and maybe instead of using these large layered pieces in the center that we've created for the 5 by 5 photo, you could actually just use regular photo mats for, say, 3 of your photos over on the right page, and do a similar smaller mat for 1 of the photos on the right page. So let's say you made a 4 photo grid. 3 of the photos in the grid could be regular, like say 4 by 4 photos, and 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 photo mats. And then 1 of the photos in the grids could have all of these layers in it and make it really unique. I think that would be a really cute companion page idea, and you could use the same background. So if any of you out there try it, be sure to share with me. I would love to see if you try to do that. But it would just incorporate a tiny bit of the theme of what we're working with over here on the left into the right. So it looks to me like they did do a teeny tiny bit of inking on the peach pattern. And I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do tone on tone. So I'm going to use a little bit of peach ink on the peach pattern, and I'm just going to do a tiny little bit on the edge with my mini blink. I am getting tongue-tied today. Mini ink blending tool with peach ink. I tell you, I am a speech pathologist by day and a paper crafter by night. And sometimes I don't do justice to the speech therapy community. Is some of these, I've had a heck of a time with Honey Bunny and Honey Butter, because there's Honey Butter is one of the main colors in the line of Honey Bunny. And can't tell you how many times I've gotten tangled already over that. So we're going to actually add the frame now. We're going to put the layers together and stack them all up. And I don't know if you guys notice, if you've been following me for a little while, I think my YouTube channel is about 8 months old now. So in terms of my being an active YouTube presenter, I guess you could say, or YouTuber, and I use my forearms. Anytime I'm adding a gutted frame, I'm always using my forearms to hold the back of the frame while I'm centering the front of the frame. And so it always looks a little funny when I reach my arms forward and I do my frames, but I love the look. It's so subtle. Sometimes you think, well, why are you bothering when you're only doing 1/8 of an inch? So we have the honey butter background cardstock, and then 11 3/4 by 11 3/4 frame with the peach pattern. So literally only like 1/8 of an inch is showing all the way around. But look at the difference it makes. Just that layered look with all of those delicious colors just stacked on top of each other really gives it an interesting look instead of just a generic background with one color. And so it is worth doing it. And by gutting those frames, you're not wasting that much paper. You still have a lot of paper that you can use on other layouts in the series. So now we have, I'm just putting those layers together and just stacking those layers one on top of each other. We already have our bunnies and our eggs and our flowers. We're going to grab some stickers off the sticker sheet. We already have our title sentiment that we worked on. And so it's coming together so quickly and easily. Such a wonderfully fun thing to do, to recreate the artwork and the featured artwork from the catalog. And if you are a workshop person and you're going to do our Honey Bunny 6-page workshop that the company designed that has full color instructions in it and it's ready to go, you're not going over the top of that workshop. These are extra pages that you can create out of the pattern paper and the sticker sheet and some of the stamps and thin cuts in the collection. So you still are able to create our entire workshop, or a workshop that I come out with, my Simply Scrappin' or my Sparkle and Shine for this collection, and get even artwork, more artwork from this series, because it isn't just about Easter. So many gorgeous spring pages in here that are wonderful. So now let's take a look at some of the stickers that we have on the sticker sheet. We do have a banner that I can use it in the reversed way. Instead of as a pennant, I think we can use it as a little extra piece up at the top. So we're going to put, it's kind of hard to tell, so I was really diving into this to see what I thought that they did, but I think they used the round honey butter dot pennant banner and the little crisscross pennant banner up here at the top, kind of layered those on top of each other just to have sort of a little interesting background peeking through the flower bits. And then we're going to add some foam tape to the running bunny, and we're going to have him up at the top here. And then we'll put the standing bunnies and the little baby bunny facing each other at the bottom. So cute. And I love the coloring. I think we did a great job on the coloring with the light, dark, light. And then we can add some of the florals in there and the extra stickers. So up at the top, we're going to have the thin cut flowers, and then we're going to have a little blue heart, a limeade heart. It looks like a darker pink heart, or maybe even a rosy, and then a more light, soft pastel heart up at the top. And then down below at the bottom, we'll add our eggs. We'll add a little bit of foam tape to the eggs. We're going to add foam tape to both of the bunnies and have those bunnies facing each other. And I get this far and I realize, so if you're following along, don't stick these down yet, but I realized they took a journal sticker. It's super light on the photo and it's hard to see, but it's a Seabrook journal sticker that has scallops around it, and it's actually underneath the bunnies. So I end up having to manhandle my pieces and pop those back up to slide that piece underneath. And I do want to do that because it offsets the title a little bit so that the title isn't directly onto the pastel and it doesn't just fade into the background. So by adding that little Seabrook scalloped piece underneath, you have an opportunity to add bling to that by adding some more yellow, and it really helps it to stand out a lot. But as of right now, I don't see that piece, so I'm just happily adding all my pieces before I realize that I need to pop them up. So we'll have the two little bunnies facing each other. And then we'll add the eggs. And as far as stickers, those are really hard to see as well. In person, you'll be able to see those in your artwork, but on the photo in the idea book, they're kind of hard to see. But there's some hearts on the lower left of the mommy and the baby bunny. There is a larger pink heart, and then there is a smaller limeade heart and a smaller honey butter heart, and then a blue flower inside a pink circle that are going to be over there on the left. They're a little hard to see, so I'm trying to be careful to show those to you here because they were really, really hard for me to find and really tell. In fact, I think I may have went into the shop site and I may have stretched that. I may have gone into the shop site on my phone and then sort of stretched that up so that I could see what was in there. And it could be my old lady eyes. Maybe young people can see everything in the artwork, but I do have trouble sometimes. So here's where I discovered that they had that scalloped piece underneath, and I'm kicking myself for not seeing it, but I actually wanted to conserve the part with the bunny on it because that part doesn't show, and just use the bottom half of that sticker, which is something that I do a lot. And you're going to see me kind of manhandle and lift everything up, and it ends up being okay. You could actually use your piercing tool and kind of, run your piercing tool under there and pull up some of that foam tape. And then once I get that, I think I may even pause the video and do it, or maybe I did get it here. Maybe I got it. And so, and then I'm going to come back in, and I love that contrast. That really helps a lot. It also gives you an area to journal on that seems a little bit more natural. Now I see that it looks to me like they have added a few other little bits in different spots. And I'm going to add, I don't know, let's see, I couldn't quite tell which stickers were which, but I sort of figured it out, and I didn't want to waste the whole parts of the sticker because I feel like those banners are long enough that we're going to be able to create more dovetailed banners out of them, because barely any of those banners is showing on the bottom. So all of them that I felt I could cut in half or cut in bits to use the rest of those bits on other layouts, that's what I did. And so I've just dovetailed the bottom of, there's a floral banner, cut that one, a blue dot banner, I cut that one, there's a multi-stripe, and then there's a limeade crisscross, and then there is a little bitty honey butter, which I think I created. Let me look at that here. I'm going to pull that while you're watching me do the banners, and I'm just going to look and see if that was actually a sticker, or did I do that little honey butter one in cardstock. It's a sticker also. So I did that little teeny golden, or a little teeny honey butter one is a sticker as well. And then I added two little teeny tiny blue dots onto the yellow banner. I added little yellow dots, honey bunny dots onto the scalloped square, and then I added extra honey bunny dots around, so a couple up to the top right and a three, I believe, on the lower left. So a honey butter large dot on the circle flower sticker, and then we have a pink and a blue dot to the lower left. The reason I'm going into great detail is they're super hard to see. It's pastel, so in person you can see it really well, but on camera you might not be able to see that. So if you're watching the video on your phone, you might be able to do a little stretching and come up really, really close and see that. And I'm getting happy. I'm loving it so much. It is so cute. And I hope that you are loving it and seeing the ease with which it is really easy to recreate artwork in the catalog. You just kind of have to look at the bits and pieces and figure out where they came from. And I love that I was able to use pieces out of my Honey Bunny pattern paper and sticker sheet, and then just one thin cut set. So the Honey Bunny Scrapbooking thin cut set, and I did use the Honey Bunny Scrapbooking and thin cut set on several other pieces of art here that I have process videos for. The ones that are uploaded so far, I'll link in the description, and then the ones that that I haven't gotten done yet, be sure that you hit subscribe and the notifications bell so that you see those when they come up, but because I'll be working through this entire idea book with process videos for pieces of art. I did say in my last reveal video that had 75 pieces of artwork in it that I created from this catalog cycle, I did indicate which ones had process videos. So if you watch that one, you'll know exactly which ones that are having process videos that correspond, so that if there's one in there that you want to recreate, just go to that video and you'll find out if I did a process video on that or not. Most of them I did. did. So yay, I hope you've enjoyed this process video. I hope you love the layout. I hope that you have a wonderful feature photo that you can use and that you can change up to fit your needs. You can flip the pattern papers or you can do it exactly as is. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to shoot me a comment. Hit the thumbs up. It goes a long way on YouTube and it helps me keep motivated when I know there's things that you're loving to see. Happy scrapping, everyone, and I'll see you right here next time on Snips by Kelly. Bye-bye.